It was in these moments that I created the Four Quadrant Strategy to career fulfillment. So I stand in front of you today and I ask, do you want to bring intentionality to your future using the power of your past? I have a suggestion. Let's start today by using the Four Quadrant Strategy. We'll analyze where you have been successful, where you have thrived, and where you want to learn more. Because at the end of your days, you're not going to remember the moments where you were inadequate, nor will you remember the moments that you didn't care to pursue. But rather, you will remember the moments where you thrived and in turn inspired a community around you. Now, I wholeheartedly believe in the Four Quadrant Strategy. I believe that it is the blueprint in bringing intention and experiencing career and life fulfillment. Here's how. And you can join in if you'd like. In your bags, you have a pen. Next to my bio page in the booklet, there is a blank piece of paper. You would take your pen and draw a line down the center of the page and a line across the middle. What you have created is 4 squares, 4 quadrants. In each quadrant, I'm going to ask that you identify areas in your life where you've had accomplishments and where you've had responsibilities. On the left side of the quadrants, we're going to focus in on areas where you've thrived and where you want to learn more. So kicking us off, in that top left quadrant, I want you to identify areas in your life where you've been successful and where you have thrived. For example, my father thrived in leading organized youth soccer and basketball in my childhood community in the 80s. He instilled the fundamentals of grit, determination, and confidence in hundreds of student athletes, including me and my 3 sisters. Now, as we step back into the bottom left quadrant, I want you to identify areas in your life where, hey, you haven't yet been successful, but you aspire to be and desire to learn more. These are your learning opportunities. Leading organized youth sports, as some of you may be familiar, comes with its set of challenges of keeping all parties happy. The parents, the coaches, the players, the refs. My father spent countless hours committed to learning the balancing act of it all. Now, as we move to the right side, we're going to shift our attention to areas where we may or may not be knowledgeable, but certainly don't care to pursue more. In the top right quadrant, I want you to identify areas in your life where you've been successful, but don't really care to pursue it. My father led a career as a logistics manager into his early 50s, but this was priority and financial need only. His priority was his family, which he chose over working longer hours and maybe even some possible promotions. And lastly, as we step back into the bottom right quadrant, I want you to identify areas in your life where you've had responsibilities, maybe you weren't that knowledgeable in them, and certainly don't care to pursue them much more. Traveling for work was not an area that my father cared to pursue, and it was in those opportunities that he chose to delegate to his team when he could, saving the travel time for his family.